And religiously, you're at like what? You've
Probably a 1. It's all fake. It's not real. This
well,
guy,
maybe
Mr.
I'm a little
Bragg.
bit more open-minded than you are.
Is Grant very stupid? Cut that out.
I'll suck your. I got a bulge compliment from my buddy back home for one of the last clips.
It's so nice to get a bulge compliment from one of your close male friends.
It is.
That's awesome.
Who else is gonna give me a bulge compliment?
I don't know. One of our many gay listeners.
That's a good point.
God, that'd be way better.
They're looking for a toe bulge. They're not looking.
Yeah,
for
that's true. I don't get that. I don't listen, fellas. I don't understand it.
But we don't need
personally. Yeah, I don't need to.
That's between you and God.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're here. It's a Sunday. Welcome to another episode of Call Him Father. How are you guys?
We should clap.
No, we don't need to clap.
Okay. I've been using my LaCroix Snap as a synchronizer.
Oh, nice. I've just been using the AI syncing on...
you can do that?
On
Premiere?
Premiere.
Yeah. I do that after. I line it up and then I sync.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry to show you behind the curtain
Behind the
there.
curtain. A little BTS for you.
Sorry about that. Let's get into it, baby. How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Kind of a good week. Kind of a slow week. Not a lot.
I held it away.
That was good. They didn't hear it as well as I
fuck.
heard it. Oh, yeah. Let's turn that off.
Okay, good week.
Good week. Pretty chill. I don't know if the remote actually works. My AC is running it. You could probably hear it. It's the summertime. You just unplug it. Oh, jeez.
So much extra
We're just
destruction.
breaking things.
I hit it with a mallet.
Could have just turned it off on my phone. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that.
Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, kind of a slow week. Not a lot really going on. Did a couple spots on Wednesday, or was supposed to did a spot on Wednesday.
Comedy shop?
Yeah.
How'd it go?
The shop. It was good. It was like, I don't know, 9 people downstairs.
Top room, lower room?
The downstairs room.
Nice, dude.
Downstairs room is really fun.
I got to get in that lower room.
Yeah, lower room's fun.
I got to get in the building first.
Walk in the building. Yeah, it's a weird process.
So exclusive.
To get in there. Yes. Well, yeah, I am not really in there.
Mm-hmm.
Someone just gave me their spot so I could do it because I couldn't make it. So, yeah, that was good. My dad was in town, so that was
how was
fun.
that?
It's kind of weird when your parents are in town because it's like we wandered around like for just 3 nights. We just kind of walked around aimlessly.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're willing to, like, other than eating,
yeah,
to do with your parents, I guess there's museums and stuff, but at night in particular, like, unless you want to spend a bunch of money on a show,
yeah,
really you just wander.
And that's also the problem because my dad kind of was like, do you want to? Have you ever been to a Broadway show? Do you want to go to a Broadway show? And I was kind of like, I really don't want to.
Really, you have no desire?
Zero desire. In fact, negative desire.
Really?
Yeah, I would rather do.
What about a musical? You like music?
I like music, but I don't like. I saw Hamilton in Chicago when I lived there.
Yeah, but
and I saw Hamilton, and I was like, I do not get it. I don't get it at all. And
why
it's like,
are they singing everything?
Why are they singing everything? Also, I can't watch the main characters. I'm too busy watching the ensemble just jumping around in the background doing nothing. And I'm just like, how do you live with yourself? How do you live with yourself as an ensemble member just jumping in the background doing oddly timed claps? I'm just like, it just makes me uneasy.
You don't like that everybody's so free and expressive.
That's it exactly. That is 100%.
You want a repressed musical.
Yeah, kind of. I
like
want to play.
Maybe they're in a church. They're just talking about the Bible. They're singing every couple of minutes.
Maybe
it's the
not
same
even
song
any singing.
over and over
Maybe
again.
not even any singing. If it was just a play with no singing, I think I'd be more interested.
Your dad should have seen Glengarry Glen Ross.
Yeah, maybe.
Really expensive, but really
was
fun.
A musical and Bill Burr's like singing.
There's too many fucking Indians here. That's from the play, by the way.
Come on, dude. Come on, dude.
Come on, dude. Why aren't these Indians buying property?
That's from Glengarry Glen Ross.
Yeah, there's like his whole opening monologue is basically Indian people suck because they won't buy property.
Not Native Americans, but Indians?
No, yeah. From India.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I can get that.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand.
But the play was written, I think, in the long ago when stuff like that was acceptable.
Yeah, exactly. When it was chill.
Like a day ago. No, but it's That's one of like the ongoing jokes throughout the play and the movie is like anytime they get these leads, anytime the lead is an Indian last name, they don't count it. They're like, you gave me 3
funny.
leads. He's like, I gave you 4. He goes, Kondalalu, you gave me 3 leads. So I was kind of shocked when I went that opening monologue got a lot of laughs from all these like liberal theater people. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, if it's in their context,
Yeah, it's theater, so you're
if it's
allowed
in
to
their
laugh.
thing,
Yeah.
they're allowed to laugh.
Right.
But if it's in like a comedy, like he means what he's saying.
How unfair is that?
It's just it is what it is.
I mean, I get it, but yeah. Anyways, so I was just kind of wandering around with my dad. We got a lot of steps in.
Yeah.
And the thing is, my dad. What is convenient about hanging out with my dad is he's a lot like me in terms of like the dietary stuff.
Sure.
Which is we eat 3 things and we're always on
Burger,
the same page. Burger, pizza, pancake, a diner,
bacon.
something like that. It was always very easy to find like a spot to eat. And so that was good. It was good to hang out with him. It was good to see him. Spiritually, I'd say I'm maybe like a 5, maybe. It's been hard to, I don't know what's been going on. My work schedule has been like weird. Like I've had meetings in the mornings and just different stuff going on. So I feel like my schedule's been weird just generally. So it's been harder to like do my daily devotionals and stuff and like stay plugged in and like have that intentional time of prayer and stuff like that. And without that practice, you definitely kind of notice yourself kind of floating away. And then you kind of realize you're swimming harder yourself, trying to like keep yourself afloat.
Sure.
And then you're all tired out. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's because I've been floating away from my basis of like, I don't want to say energy, but like the spiritual health is like really fundamental to the rest of my health, I think.
Yeah, well, if that essential part of the routine gets knocked out, it's like a mooring and you just get farther away from it and then the current.
And then it's also harder to get back into it and whatever. And like yesterday I spent like hours in the sun. You might be able to, I don't know how well you can tell how incredibly burnt I am. Mm-hmm. And that just like tires me out so much. I'm like, I don't want to do anything. Like, I don't want to read. I don't want to wake up and go to church. I don't want to do any of that. I mean, I did, but it was just like so tiring. I don't know.
You have a ring of Oreo residue around your mouth.
Oh, how awesome is that?
That's really good.
Having Oreos is just the best.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
like I'm 7.
It does take it out of you, the sun and spike ball. But I get what you're saying. It's like if you don't practice daily, anything that you like really want to, you need this constant reminder. It's like with the Hebrews, like
yes,
they're always like they go from getting the biggest miracles on earth to then complaining again or just forgetting about it
instantly
or needing to be reminded again. It's a practice.
And also what's hard
quick.
is when you do lose the practice, right? And then you like show back up. It's like, and this is bad. This shouldn't, I think this is detrimental and like a bad read on what's actually going on, but you feel like shameful and like guilty because you're like, okay, I'm coming back, and it's like you feel embarrassed because you're like, where were you? You know what I mean? Like you don't read your Bible for 2 days and then you show back up and it's like, oh, so you just clock in whenever you want, that you just do, it's like this shame thing, which is not good. I don't think God is shaming us. I think we shame ourselves for not doing the actions we think we should do. And God doesn't shame us, but we do it ourselves because it does expose like this underlying sense that I do think my actions save me to a degree.
Right,
I do
which
think,
is not what you're supposed to think.
Well, I don't think that's true. I don't think it's a true thing. I don't think how many times I read the Bible is what saves me.
Okay.
But I do realize when I stop and then I show back up.
Why read the Bible?
Because it's good for you. It's engaging in a relationship that's real, but it's not what saves you, right?
So but it does make you feel better and it makes your life go more smoothly.
I don't know if it makes your life go more smoothly, but it's a reminder of the truth, which is that you're loved and that you're safe, I think.
Okay.
So it's like, and it's engaging in the relationship with a personal God who loves you. And this is his word to you to be used as an encouragement to you. So it's just kind of like, reading it doesn't save me, but I am saved by reading it, if that makes sense.
As long as it makes sense to you.
Like my action of reading it isn't what saves me.
Yeah.
Like, he read it, he's saved now. But when I do engage
your
in
entry level is saved, but it's your baseline is saved, but your plus, you get more out of life when you read. That's what you're saying.
Like you get an assurance of God's love for you.
Sure.
And when you leave it, you get the lie back in, and then you're like, oh no, God's going to be mad at me for not reading. And that's just not true. That just is a lie. And if I kept reading my Bible, ironically, I would know that that's a lie. But when I fade away from that, the lies creep back in, and I feel accused and all
I think the mooring analogy, like the anchor analogy, is very good, because the longer the anchor is away from the boat, the more the sea can take it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree with you. So that's kind of where I'm at spiritually. So I got to like kind of clock back in and like re-engage more. So yeah. What about you?
And religiously, you're at like what? You've
probably a 1. No.
Wow.
It's all fake. It's not real. No, I'm still like an 8. Still in on it.
Yeah. Where would someone be if they like? I don't think, but if they like knew, they were like, this isn't real, but the practice is good for me. Like it's like a morning routine type thing. Where would they be ranked
in terms of Christian?
Like they just like go, oh, I've just chosen this thing because it gets me doing church on Sundays. It feels nice to do. I don't actually believe in the thing, but the actual tradition around the thing. I know you're going to say, well, the reason it works is but I'm saying they don't believe that. Where would they, do you think, rank on the religion scale? Because they've chosen the religion. They've said, this is the religion I'm going to follow, and it works, but I don't think the reason it works is because it's like of real God. It's just these are the humans need these types of disciplines and practices.
Sure. So it kind of depends. I think the answer, you would get a different answer from a lot of Christians that you ask, like depending on where they stand. Personally, I'd put that at a 0.
You put that at 0?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You don't believe in Jesus at all. You don't think he's God. You don't all the tenets of Christianity, like the creeds, you think it's all false. I'm like, okay, well, that is what being a Christian is believing that that's true.
I put it at about an 8. What are you usually, by the way?
I'm like an 8.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just different strokes.
Because I will say, like, if you don't believe in the creeds, then you're not a Christian. Like, if you go to church and like do everything, first off, you shouldn't be taking communion if you don't believe it's true. And they say that at least in my church, they fence the table. But like, so like, if you're just going through the practice, but you don't believe any of it's true, I think the practice comes from the belief. I think if you're just practicing without belief, if you're investigating belief, I think that could be great. But if you're just like, nah, it's just kind of a whatever thing, it works for me. I'm like, okay, well then your belief isn't Christian. Your belief is some other thing. I don't know. I wouldn't exactly.
Oh God!
Ultimately, it's yourself, right? Oh, you're making me burp. Burps.
I don't know but I guess this guy that I'm seeing it's not himself. He sees that people just need some type of structure.
Sure. Yeah.
He's chosen this structure.
Right.
He believes the structure works.
Yeah.
He just doesn't care like that it's God is why it works.
Is the he in this room with us right now?
No.
Okay. Is the he here right now?
No, but I could channel him pretty easily if I were to be asked.
Oh, interesting.
No, I was just curious, solely off of like in terms of what it means to be religious on this. I'm trying to figure out our arbitrary scale.
Yeah, our arbitrary scale. Well, that's the hard part, because I think some people would say like, well, I go to church, I'm a Christian. Like so many, and not to bash on Catholics, but a lot of Catholics are like nominally Catholic. Well, they're like, yeah, I'm Catholic. I'll go to mass sometimes. And it's like, okay, do you go to confession? Okay, do you do this, that, the other? And they just kind of say they're Catholic because that's like their family tradition.
Yeah.
But it's like, do you believe any of it? And they're like, nah. And I'm like, okay, well then that's like actually a crucial part of being a thing, is believing the thing that it says it believes. Like the creeds, the Apostle Creed, the Nicene Creed, the Athanasian Creed, like those are the moorings of the Christian faith.
Sure.
And it's like, if you don't believe that, then you're not a Christian. You're just going through the motions.
Yeah, okay.
And the motions aren't what make you Christian.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking about is like, like they talk about how a nation needs a unifying myth, right?
Sure.
So like for America, it's like the American dream might be our unifying myth. A person can be like, they can see themselves as like a pragmatist. So they go, oh yeah, that's important for people. We have to have this unifying myth.
Sure.
I think this is a good unifying myth, but the actual truth of the thing is not so much important as the effect of the of having the myth itself. Like I'm a patriot because I believe that this unifying myth is good for my country, but I don't actually believe that the myth itself is substantially true.
Right. I guess the question would be, I mean, why is it? I guess I would have a lot of follow-up questions. Like, why is it effective? Two, like one, why is it effective? Two, would there be another thing that's more effective, other than Christianity? Three, what is it that you really care about? Do you just care about the effect? And why is it that you just care about the effect? Also, I mean, then you have so many questions as to like, what does it mean to be good? Like, what is a good effect? Like, if you're going with the country thing,
sure,
that will lead you into nationalism immediately. You'll be like, well, this is good for my country, and it's like, so the country's good is the ultimate good then, and you're using this for the country's good.
Sure.
And it's like, well, what does it mean for a country to be good? Like, does it mean for it to be
minerals,
dominant?
control of rare earth minerals?
Right, exactly. Then yeah, I guess we are doing pretty good. Well, do we have control, or we just buy into all the other world's minerals?
Brother, I don't have no damn idea.
But the idea being like, I would just have a lot of questions as to like what your actual foundation of your worldview is. And if it's just about functionality and being ultimately boiling down to just being happy, then it's like, okay, you are coming down to something that's subjective now.
Sure.
But you can't critique other people's subjective joy. And again, it just falls into the moral problems of what right and wrong are. I mean, there's just so many issues that come up with that. I'm kind of rambling, but
this is a pretty open-ended question. I was just wondering, like, what would that person be in our scale? Because technically, they're doing I guess they're doing the religious stuff without the biggest piece of the religion. So maybe I'd put them at about 3 or 4.
Sure, I could see the justification of being a 3 or 4 because you're doing it even if you don't believe it. And I think that's again, I think that's a little bit different. It depends on maybe how they're doing it, right? Like I said, if they're doing it with an open mind, investigating, maybe 3 or 4. But if they're doing it and they're like, no, I'm totally sure this isn't real. I just am doing it because it's a function.
Yeah, but then why would you do it
positively?
Yeah,
that
doesn't really make sense as a person.
Yeah, because you're like, oh no, this is fake. I just have to do it. It's like, well, wouldn't you want to do something that's real?
Well, no, you just so immediately go, but why is it working then?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, religious for me. For
you, and it's religion. What is it? What is the religion for you?
I would say 4 because I'm going to a bunch of different churches. I'm reading a bunch of different.
I go to a bunch of different churches.
Maybe
Mr.
I'm a little
Bragg.
bit more open-minded than you are.
That's true. I'm going to just one church.
Yeah. I went to an Episcopal church today with my GF. And
guy friend.
No, guy I fuck.
GIF.
You're saying
that's a GIF. My GIF.
A guy I fuck.
Great news for a lot of our listeners. We knew one of them was gay.
Well, do you think that the feet people? Do you think that they could be like removed that I'm a man and it's just that it's a foot and a sock?
But it's clearly a man foot.
Thank you.
They're jerking off to size what?
11 and a half.
11? Yeah, 11 and a half.
Sometimes 12 in Reebok.
You think they see like a tall woman and they're like, her feet will do?
That'll be fine.
Yeah, no, I think it's a man thing.
Yeah, I understand why they want me to keep the socks on though. But anyway,
I want to keep the socks on.
Really?
You.
I think it's St. Peter's Church in Chelsea. You come up to it and it's like really old looking. Like it's not that fancy on the outside. The inside is just like this crazy mix of like they don't have enough money to redo anything, and so like the ceiling is falling apart. There's just like $1 million massive organ that's just never used.
We just redid our organ at my church.
Well, if you have any money left over, send it to these people.
Yeah, it was like a big deal to get it done. It's very expensive.
They're like tens of millions of dollars sometimes. But the stained glass, it was really beautiful, and it's just there's nobody in there. There's maybe 20 people in total.
Yeah,
I really liked it. I mean, the Episcopal Church is like hyper liberal, and apparently my girlfriend was saying like a lot of the sermons are very political, which I think is maybe not what I'm looking for when I go to a church, at least at this point.
Sure.
But I don't know. I liked it. I like checking out new churches because it is just, say what you will about like the religions themselves, but the dedication and time to the places of worship, whether it's a mosque or a cathedral, is always so impressive. That's so much human time and effort and emotion has gone into making this a special place is always, even if you're not religious, you have to go into those places and be like, wow. And that church is like 200 years old.
Dude, think about churches, I mean, in Europe that took literally like hundreds of years to build.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh yeah, no, I'm never going to see this thing finished, but it's going to be awesome.
Do you think
because they did just have this belief of like a bigger, like a more generational sense of like
that's what's cool about it. You sit in it and you go, oh, like just being in this is a continuation of a thing much bigger than myself.
Yeah, definitely.
You are sitting in like you're participating in a like a historical thread.
Yeah, that's
cool. And the floor on the outside, they're like these old hexagonal stones that remind me of the Giant's Causeway. You know what that is? Mm-mm. It's I think it's in Ireland or Scotland, but it's like there's these naturally occurring hexagonal rock formations. Yeah, it feels like a thing from Harry Potter. It's really sick.
Well, fun.
But the church was, and the stained glass was amazing. Mm-hmm. And the sermon was cool. It was a quick service. So, but yeah.
What was the sermon about? Was it also political?
It was about like accepting that miracles happen, but that doesn't give you the right to just sit back and watch. So,
I see.
In the light of she mentioned the last 100 days. Pretty, not very subtle.
Pretty targeted. The last 100 days, I don't know what happened then, but anyway.
Was there the playoffs?
Yeah, the playoffs.
So, yeah. But there were some nice little moments, and there's like the bassist is wearing shorts, and I'm like, come on. But then I'm like, wait.
The bassist, I see.
Everybody should be allowed to worship here. Like, I get that. I get that, like, there's a snootiness to it, and then they're like, maybe we should respect this thing. But then at the same time, it's like, well, you're here. It's good that you're here.
Yeah.
So, I would say religion, I said 4. Spirituality, I've had a lot of, like, moments this week where, like, it's just beautiful. Like, it's just
that's
like,
awesome.
You see, my mind will calm down, and I won't be worrying about my own shit. And then, like, everything, the colors change and everything gets a little brighter, and like reality gets more, I mean, it sounds like drugs, but like reality gets more like emboldened. And you're like, oh, everything that is happening right now is exactly how it's supposed to be.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, yeah, that's a spiritual experience. Mm-hmm. So I'd say I'm a 7.
That's
8.
Awesome. Crazy that can all happen while you're staring at a homeless person.
And while I'm whacking off, but it just clears my head.
You're just like, this is real.
Whacking off to a homeless person.
This is what's supposed to be.
That's exactly where he's supposed to be, and that's why I don't have to give him $1. Yeah, that I have. Boy, do I have it.
So I've been trying to make that bit work. Did I talk to you about that? The relief of not having cash.
It's a good joke.
I tried to,
it's so relatable.
I don't know how to set it up, but I tried it at Black Cat, and it did kind of.
It just adds to the evidence that credit cards are the most evil things on earth.
Dude.
Because not only are you spending money you don't have and then paying for it more in the future, but now you have more of an excuse not to give to homeless people who need it.
I was concerned when COVID was happening and everyone was more scared of paper money and stuff before they knew how it was spread. Yeah. I was like, homeless people are going to be effed by this. If no one's carrying cash ever, what are they going to do? Like, if we go full digital and everything, like, what are they going to do?
That's why I'm starting a charity that's implanting tap to pays in their foreheads.
That's so smart.
Yeah. They're just smashing their heads into people's pockets.
into the freaking Omni.
Yeah,
and they're just
yeah.
like, I have to get on this train. Bonk. Thankfully, they're all half bent over already.
That's true. That's true.
It's the other joke.
Yeah, that's another good joke.
Anyways,
so yeah,
that's cool, man. That's awesome. So glad to hear that.
Yeah, it's sick. And you know what that has helped me get there is a big part of it is the morning prayers and just reminding myself, hey, be here and let what happens, but also meditation, man. Really,
dude, that's so awesome.
Yeah, I was thinking about this.
What sort of meditation? What does that look like? Can you dive into that?
So I go to some gatherings where groups of people with a common problem.
Interesting.
Gather. Yeah. And meditate. Oh, I mean, Quaker meeting. Quaker meeting I can talk about.
Quaker meeting.
Quaker meeting.
Oh, okay. So you could tell anyone about Quaker meeting.
I can tell anybody about
You don't
that.
need to remain anonymous for a Quaker meeting.
No. Yeah.
You're sure.
And so the Quaker meeting, dude, really is great. Would you ever come to one, or you're not going to miss a Presbyterian Sunday?
I'd go to one.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
What time are they?
There's a 9:30.
I can't go then. I can't.
That's one of my favorite jokes is, when is it happening? And
Before you even
finish. That's a good one. Or like, I'm going to be sick that day. I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Those are like dad jokes.
They're great dad jokes.
But they're so funny.
Or whenever someone's talking to me and telling me something I don't want to hear, and we're in person, I say, "Oh, sorry, I'm going through a tunnel right now. I'm going through a tunnel."
And you're in person?
Yeah, in person.
That's very funny.
Sorry, I'm getting really bad reception in here.
That's so funny.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's pretty good. Okay, 9 on Sundays?
9:30 on Sundays, or there's also an 11 on Sundays.
Okay.
But the 11 one, dude, so 9:30 is just in person, but during the 11 one, they also allow Zoom.
I can't be doing Zoom.
And they project the Zoom callers in on the massive wall.
Hilarious.
So you close your eyes and then you open your eyes and there's just an old woman staring at a computer. It's like the most
With her nose up?
Yeah, she just is trying to it's like the most
Playing
takes you
solitaire on the
out
side.
of it you've ever
That's so funny. Yeah, dude, I could be down to go to a 9:30 service sometime.
Yeah, but I
be
would
fun.
say, I guess there's a difference between mindfulness meditation and then there's other meditations, but the meditation where you just focus on your breath in and out,
Yeah.
and the feeling of that with your eyes closed, that's really good. But also, just mindfulness is like you let whatever thoughts come in, but you don't judge them. You don't mess with them. You let them swirl in and out of your head.
Yeah.
And then eventually you get moments where you're just not thinking. You're just kind of breathing.
Whoa.
And then obviously another thought comes in. But there's moments where like 2, 3, 4 minutes will pass and you'll be like completely in a state of presence.
Wow, that's awesome.
And if you do it in the morning, it transfers for the rest of the day, where it's never consistent, but you just get these little moments throughout the day where you
Like return to that as your baseline.
exactly.
Yeah,
But you
that's
have-
very cool.
For me, it has to be in the morning.
I think that makes a lot of sense. It's funny. In my daily devotional thing, sometimes I'll do it at night.
Yeah.
And then I'm reading like the prayers that are written, and it's like, thank you for giving us this upcoming day. It's like, it's just written as if it should be in the morning.
Yeah.
And I understand that because I think that's a good way to set the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
And that's
do you
very
think Jesus meditated, or is that just prayer?
cool. Yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to say they're the same thing. I think prayer maybe has an extra intention behind it. I think you
Yeah.
could use meditate. I mean, Christians would call that contemplative prayer. It's just like meditation with an understanding that there is more than nothing, right?
Sure.
Like, so that it's like you're not
I
just
like that. I like that.
you're not just like you're not just meditating and being like, this is it. It's just my thoughts reach nothing. You have the perhaps nothing or the base state that you're getting, plus the belief that there is an all-loving God who died for you.
With you.
With you. So it's like when you accept not judging your own thoughts and then add on top of that a God who loves you and those thoughts, who like really loves you, it feels a little, to me, it feels like a little extra good.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels, not trying to compare them necessarily,
Sure.
but yeah, I
Exactly
think that's
what
how
you're doing.
Christians would. Yeah, everyone's better, but it doesn't matter. It's not here nor
Give
there.
it a shot. Just 10 minutes in the morning. And
Yeah.
it's so hard though, because like the first 5, maybe even 9.5 minutes, you're just like, did I set the alarm? And it's just an excuse to look at your phone. You want to look at your phone so bad the entire time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's another thing that's kind of been harder for me. Doing longer like prayer sessions has been harder, just time wise and stuff. And that is like such a grounding thing for me.
Yeah.
That it is like
Looking at your phone?
I think I got to go back to that. Unfortunately, no. Just the longer prayer things are like so good for me.
Yeah.
And it's like hard. And when I'm not diving into that, it does leave me more scattered, more stressed, more scared. So yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you.
Yeah, dude.
That's cool.
100%. Look who's saying it now. 100%.
100%. Thank you. I think that might be
It's a good affirmative. It really makes people feel sure.
dude. I love talking to people who I disagree with about this.
Right.
And then if they say something I agree with,
45%.
45. Yeah, 10%. So they're like 10%.
10%.
Yeah, it's really not a lot on that.
I mean, the words I could understand.
Right, exactly. What they mean.
The why, and no
don't
way.
like it at all. But that's like when you're disagreeing with someone, but they do say something you agree with, you go, oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, he's on my side.
Yeah, or
and
he is at least listening.
Yeah, you can really disagree better when you really make the common ground very firm.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the... What's the word harbinger mean? Harbinger.
Oh, I ask this question once a month.
Harbinger specifically?
Yeah, I go.
No way.
There's an you know what? I have harbinger and albatross fall through my brain like there is a sieve that is the exact shape
Albatross
of albatross.
is when it's a par 5 and you make it in 2.
Wow, awful.
Sorry, that is an albatross.
Okay, but albatross is like this thing that is looming over you. That's like a curse almost, right?
It's like a bird.
Right, but harbinger is like a bringer of a bad thing, right?
Ah, okay.
Isn't it? They're related, albatross and harbinger.
I didn't know that.
I think so, but I'm also very stupid.
All right. Hold on. Let me ask Siri. Is Grant very stupid?
Oh, that's fun. That's a good misdirect.
Tell me yes. Wait, hold on. I brought up your contact.
Oh, okay.
What
Text
is
Grant, he's
harbinger?
stupid.
A harbinger is a person or thing that foreshadows or foretells the coming of someone or something. Okay, so it's someone
not
or
generally
something.
bad.
Yeah, it could be,
okay.
but you could use it for bad or good.
Yeah.
So I think I was actually going to accidentally use it correctly when I was going to say prayer is a harbinger.
My girlfriend's a harbinger that I'm going to be coming soon. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
I didn't like that. I probably didn't need to bring her into this.
Cut that out. Yeah. And just say my boop, and then, and then your girlfriend listens
My
and
dad.
is like, you're what? Wait, who are you talking about on the podcast?
Nobody.
Nobody. Don't worry about it.
Wow. Okay, let's get into this darn book.
Get into this darn book.
Okay.
Still here.
Where
Through the
are
millennium,
we?
through the years.
Where are we coming from and where are we going?
We're coming out of the Egypt, Red Sea specifically. Just came out of the dry land of the Red Sea. The Egyptians just got eaten up by the water because they ran into the hallways of water and thought they could survive. And they could not.
They could not. They got drowned.
They got drowned. And so what do? The Israelites, they get out, they get to the other side, they're stoked, and then Moses sings a song.
That's what you do at the end of a good military victory.
You sing.
You sing a song. And
it's like in Black Hawk Down at the end of the song when they start singing.
Yeah.
It turns into a musical at the end if you're familiar
that
with
would really change that movie.
Yes, Fallujah.
It's a pretty long song. We thought it'd be funny to sing each paragraph in a different thing, but now it feels a little too mechanic. Now it feels like we pre-planned it.
Can't do it.
You don't want to do the Louis Armstrong thing at all?
No.
I will sing to the Lord for his triumph gloriously.
That's a really good Louis
The
Armstrong.
horse and his rider, he has floated to the sea.
Oh, they do. Yeah, gloriously and see, they rhyme.
They did rhyme. I wonder if they rhyme in every language. That would make me believe in God.
I highly doubt it.
It's not. No, there's no way.
There's no way.
For sure, they just changed other words so that those would fit.
I bet it was like ocean or something, and they're like, it doesn't rhyme.
Yeah, the one line in here, the song is long, and it's basically, it recounts the fact that the Egyptians got messed up.
Just smacked.
And God loves the Hebrews. And there is one interesting line. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. That's a pretty intense line. It just goes against my idea of Christian stuff, right?
Yeah, well, the Lord is powerful, right?
Sure.
And I think this is taken up this
The Lord is a man of war.
Yeah, a man. I think man of war. What's that called? Man of war.
He's a stingray. He's a big stingray.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, God's a stingray. It's this idea of like he is a man of war. Like he can be accomplished within war. He's strong. He's powerful. I don't think like I don't think he's a warring God in the sense that he wants to bring war. But he's a man of war in that he has been to war. He has been through battles. He has fought and he has won. C.S. Lewis captures this idea, I think, really nicely in, I think it's the line The Witch in the Wardrobe.
P.S. Puis.
Come on. This is a serious podcast.
Sorry, go.
P.S. Puis?
We did it in the past.
That's very funny.
I've done that before
I
with you.
don't remember that. P.S. Puis?
Yeah.
I don't remember that past my mom. She's going to be so upset.
Well, but what's better than upsetting mom?
She loves C.S. Lewis so much, and I'm going to be like, oh, you mean P.S. Puis? And she's going to be like, Joshua.
Please get a video of her.
Yeah, please stop.
Okay, he captures it.
He captures it really nicely by Aslan, who's the Jesus figure in Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Aslan.
The kids, yeah, I mean, he had that one coming. The kids who hadn't met him yet were asking about it, and Mr. and Mrs. Beaver, I think it's Mr. Beaver, says that Aslan is a good lion. He's like, he's not a tame lion. He's good, but he's not tame.
Yeah.
And I think that captures it really succinctly in the sense that, like, God is good, but he's not domesticated.
Okay.
He's not domesticated.
Sure.
He is strong and powerful and will take action when he needs to.
Okay. Yeah. Any other lines from this that draw that you want to point out?
I mean, kind of, I was just going to go along those same lines. Like, this sounds like those imprecatory psalms, which we mentioned that got cut out last time. The imprecatory psalms, I still don't get that. Well, I won't reference it. Yeah. The imprecatory psalms where it's like, they're singing, praising to God about how their enemies just got wrecked.
Yeah.
And it's like, you wouldn't think that that's a prayer about how your enemies died. But it's like they're glorifying God because God is their protector.
He allowed them to destroy their enemies.
Or he destroyed their enemies. Yeah.
Well, that is one thing is like in everything, or not in everything, but in this instance, it's God is doing the killing.
Yes.
The only other... In this instance and in all the plagues, God is doing the killing.
Right.
But like in the defiling of Dinah, the killing is being done by people. And that maybe there's something there about like how...
The way God acts.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, you can say that when people did do the killing,
yeah,
they overdid it.
Oh, okay.
Right? So like, what was it? Simeon and Levi? Was it them?
Yeah, sure.
When Simeon and Levi killed the entire town, God was like, yo, that's kind of a lot. You don't need to be doing that.
Well, Abraham was.
Right. But then also going back to, remember the blessing, not Abraham, Jacob.
Okay.
Jacob was like, that's overkill. And then when Jacob blesses his kids, remember, he mentions the overkill to Simeon and Levi.
Oh, okay. And that's why he separates them.
Yeah, that's why he blesses them the way he does, which is less than because of what they did.
Uh-huh.
So when someone does take justice, quote unquote, into their own hands, it ends up being a lot of the time injustice because they're over prosecuting, as it were, rather than treating appropriately.
Okay. Anything else?
No, not on that portion. Although it does have Miriam's song as well, which is Moses' sister.
Yeah.
So she also sings a song.
She gets one stanza.
She has one stanza, which, listen, not as many stanzas as Moses.
Right. But for a woman back then, yeah,
pretty nuts that she's being mentioned.
And she gets a tambourine.
Tambourine.
Who knew they had tambourines back then?
They were annoying even back then.
Yeah.
Could just cut out with the tambourine.
And then Moses' cousin comes in. He's got like a cowbell, and they're just kind of entertaining him.
Oh, more cowbell. The Miriam, the prophetess, speaker.
Big deal.
Yeah, that's a big deal. You know, she's not just some old lady. Mm-hmm. Although she is an old lady at this point, to be sure.
Yeah.
Old lady witches are kind of scary, like in movies and stuff. You remember Holes?
I feel like all witches are old ladies.
There's never like
except for in Wicked.
Yeah, I never seen Wicked. Did you ever watch Holes?
Yeah, but I don't recall.
Okay, there's an old lady in it that really, Madame Zeroni.
There are old lady faces that haunted my dreams.
Terrified me. When I was a kid. Then I will be strong too.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, really scared me.
Yeah.
Really scary stuff. Sorry, I'm going to silence my phone here.
So then they sing the song, and then they set out from the Red Sea, and they get to a place where they go 3 days without water, and so they're all like, oh, we're so thirsty. And so they find a place with water, but the water is kind of sour, I guess.
Yeah,
it's bitter.
It's bitter.
And so God tells Moses to throw a tree in the lake, and that makes it sweet.
Yep.
So what's the lesson there? Just listen to God again?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, here's what's kind of fun
of a
about
broken
that.
record, this guy.
Yeah, here's what's kind of fun about that is you see that and you're like, I have no idea how that works. So you look at it as a miracle. I bet now if we look back at that, we could find some sort of scientific reason as to like.
I was going to assume that you had one.
Oh, I don't have one, but
Okay.
you could definitely look at that and say, oh, maybe the tree acted as some sort of filtering system or like whatever. So it's kind of fun how like the miracle isn't necessarily the science behind it, but like the fact that you did that was the miracle. Like God just telling you, this is just how it works. Just do this, and you get the benefit from something you would never have figured out on your own, because that's not like an intuitive solution.
To throw a tree into
Hey, this water's bitter.
water.
I could fix it by throwing wood in it. It's like, what? Why would you think that? But it worked. So either it's a complete miracle like that, or B, I mean, I'd still call it a miracle either way, or B, it's a miracle by following the word of the Lord and it functions that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's like, I don't know. I mean, to say, I'm sure there's a deeper symbolism there, but following the word of the Lord is what will save you. Following His commandments.
What does it mean for the water to be bitter? What makes water bitter?
I think some of the Israelites were probably peeing upstream.
Oh.
No, I'm judging.
Oh, okay.
Maybe there's
Is
a lot
piss
of them.
bitter?
The type that I don't know.
Okay.
Who knows?
Whew.
Man, who even knows?
Okay, so they make the water sweet, and then we're at 16.
Sweet water also sounds like I don't want sweet water either. I just want water. I don't want.
Probably when your blood sugar's high, you have sweet water. Like when you
when it's
piss,
low.
it smells like birthday cake.
I've never noticed that. Maybe.
I've just heard that before. It's a Patrice O'Neill joke.
Oh, I'll take a look.
Okay.
All right.
Bread from heaven.
Bread from heaven.
This
Shooby dooby.
Shooby Dooby. That was more of a Cosby than a
Yeah. Shooby doo.
bread from heaven. Shooby Dooby.
Man, that's good. That's fun.
Yeah, the way that I got that one is I watched that clip of that Japanese guy doing it in full blackface. Have you seen that?
I know.
Dude, it's such a brutal clip. It's a Japanese guy in full blackface as Louis Armstrong singing, I think, why do what? And so he's got a Japanese accent underneath the Louis Armstrong.
Oh, that's so awesome.
What a wonderful word.
Here's what's funny about if he does full blackface, his eyes are still Asian. Like I don't know how he hides that.
They
Does
are
he, like,
more open than. I don't know if they did something, but they are.
He like reverse taped his eyes.
He's like really flexing his eyes though. Like the entire performance, he's like, "What a wonderful world," and he's like got the Japanese thing.
You know, it's okay. Doing black accent could be maybe a little offensive, but if you do a specific black accent, not offensive.
Like a Japanese black accent.
Well, like you're doing Louis Armstrong, and it's great. I don't think it's offensive.
Yeah, but
You do a black set, and people are like, "Come on, man."
have you seen the
Could you not?
Z-Way interview where
Z-Way?
she's
Is that
like
a Chinese interview?
No. Z-Way is like this. She's a black lady, and she has. I don't know if she's a comic. I don't know how she got famous, but she has an interview show where she like kind of tries to cancel people on the spot. And she had Chet Hanks on.
Like as a fun way or as a mean way?
I think for Chet Hanks, it was trying to be mean, but then he was just so charismatic, it kind of worked to his advantage.
Oh, cool.
But he does a impression of.
Jamaican, right?
Well, no, he speaks patois like fluently.
Oh, sweet.
But which people like because he likes a lot of Jamaican women.
Sure.
So it's coming from a genuine place. But he does a Denzel Washington impression from the movie Training Day.
Okay.
And she's like, don't impersonate black men. And he's just like laughing with his shirt off. And it just it's like water off a duck's back.
Oh,
it
that's
doesn't
so
do
funny.
anything.
Yeah.
How are you going to hurt Tom Hanks's son?
Yeah, no, you can't.
It's unaffected. But anyway, the bread from heaven is an interesting story because basically they've been walking around for maybe a month or two now.
Yeah, a bit.
And they're in the desert and they're mad at Moses, but really they're mad at God.
Well, that's an interesting thing. Well, yeah, I'll let you keep going.
Which they kind of say, but they're starving. They're hungry. They haven't had good food in a long time. And they go, why would you take at least in Egypt, we could eat meat and bread whenever we wanted. But you've taken us into the wilderness now to just die of starvation. And so Moses prays to God and he's like, what do I do? And God's like, I'll give you some food. I'm going to give you all the food you want, all the meat you want. And then it's going to be bread in the mornings. It's going to rain bread. But you have to eat it in this particular way and abide by my rules. and then they kind of they get the nice bread, and it comes out of the sky. It's like a dew on the ground. That part is really confusing to me. Is that it's basically like a bunch of quail land. That's how they get their meat. But then every morning there's a dew on the ground that like crystallizes, and they eat that as bread. And they call it manna.
Yeah.
Or manna or whatever.
Manna.
And then if they're only supposed to take the amount that will feed them for that day, right? Which kind of shows that they have faith in God that he'll bring it again the next day.
Right.
And some of them try to keep it overnight, and it spoils and it stinks and has worm, and that pisses off Moses even more, which pisses off God. And it's kind of this recurring thing of, I will give you these blessings, and then they don't follow the instructions, and then everyone's annoyed.
Yeah, and then, you get the bad food, and also they say on day 6, you normally just take for each day, right? On day 6, you take for 2 days, because on day 7, the Sabbath, which is when you're supposed to rest, you don't go out and gather on that day. On that day, you rest. So you get 2 days on day 6, you get 2 days worth on day 6, and it doesn't go bad.
It doesn't go bad yet.
It doesn't go bad for the 7th day, which is obviously before they did see it going bad, and now it's not. So again, part of the thing is like, how is this functioning? That's how the Lord's had it set up. I do think it's interesting how they're complaining to Moses and Aaron when they're like out of bread and when things are tough.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, we're okay. And then it gets bad, and then they start complaining. And then Moses and Aaron are like, well, it's not us, it's God. Which is like, I can't tell how to read that, if that's like blame shifty or if that's just them being honest. Because they are like, well, God's the one who provides for us. So you're not just complaining to me, you're complaining about God.
Yeah, maybe that's their. I see how it's like, if they're complaining to him, right? And he's getting the blame. It's a showing that they don't actually believe, or it's a showing that they're not really attributing all this stuff to God.
Yeah,
they don't see his power as wholly encompassing of everything.
And
it's like, hey, if you have a problem, don't talk to me. Talk to the big man,
right?
Because that's who got us all this good stuff. So keep it in mind.
Right. And then also they come when they need it, when they're hurting. Like they're coming with this like complaining attitude. And then God provides for them.
Yeah.
How interesting would it have been if maybe before they needed more, when they were okay, they just were like, hey, we're doing great right now. Let's thank the Lord for this and maybe ask for more. Like if they asked earlier, would God have given the manna earlier? It's weird that they come when they need it. Like they think they're okay without the Lord before. They're not thankful for what he's given them. Yeah. They come when they need it. They get it. And then they take it with a bad attitude and take it incorrectly. It's like just lose. Yeah. It's just like every step of the way they're doing it without thankfulness and with a poor attitude. And God doesn't not give it to them.
Sure.
God has every right to be like, your attitude stinks. I hate this. And he doesn't, because he's promised to them that he'll provide for them. So he does, regardless of their horrific attitude.
Yeah. Is there another story similar to this later on?
I mean, yeah. The entire book of Exodus
is them complaining and then getting food and then.
Dude, yeah. It's
because I was told about a story that I thought this was the story, but instead of them just the food going bad, a lot of the people who ate the food died. Is that coming later?
That is coming later. That is.
Oh, okay. I thought the guy who told me that just butchered this story.
No, that's with the sacrifice to the golden calf, I believe. Whoever ate the meat sacrificed to that. Yeah, that's post 10 Commandments.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wish I would have looked into the like what the bread could possibly be. Like
there's videos of like kind of what they think it might have.
Really?
Been like. Yeah. It looks very light and airy, kind of like wafery.
But it's just like dew and mixed with yeast.
I don't know what it's mixed with, man. It miraculously shows up there.
Sure, but I guess I'm trying to find like legitimizing things to it.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, anything else to say about this section, Bread from Heaven?
This pattern will be repeated ad nauseum, and it's infuriating.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. Is like I judge them. It's like, how do you guys not? They parted the seas for you.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then it's like, But then I think about my life and I'm like how ungrateful I am. And it's like, dude, I'm alive.
I'm alive. I live in
the best place to be alive.
I live in the best city. I live in the biggest city in the current world, in the best time to be alive in all time.
I'm a white man
of all time,
which is really,
it's crazy how far ahead we are.
Yeah.
I was talking with some friends yesterday about like this idea of like, how do you know what you want to do? How do you, like in life, how do you know what you're made to be, your purpose, whatever.
Yeah.
And then one of the guys was like, yeah, most people don't like have the luxury to think about that.
Exactly.
Like we get to be like, what do I want to do?
we see it as such a burden.
Yeah, and it's like want to do? What do you mean want to do?
Yeah, it's
you just do. You do what you need to do to survive.
Dude,
and we're like, but
Louis,
how do I be happy?
Have you heard? Do you remember the Louis joke about this? People were like, what am I supposed to do? He says, put food here and then shit it out later. Why does it? It's not that complicated.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, like to have this level of our struggle is such like a first world, like purpose struggle is like such a higher struggle.
Ah, man,
And so it's like,
yikes.
yeah. And so and we're like, God hates me. And it's like, what?
Yeah. No,
What?
man.
You have a fitted sheet on your bed.
That's really,
Like, are you kidding me? That's crazy.
And by the way, most annoying sheet.
Worst sheet. Dude, it's
Blessing of a
my
sheet.
fitted sheet is like coming off right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just seeing how many days I could just sleep on just the side. Like it's coming off on one corner and I'm like, I just don't want to pick up my bed and put it back.
Yeah.
It sucks. It really sucks.
It sucks so bad.
Sucks so bad. Don't come at me with your my parents are dead complaint. I have a fitted sheet that's coming.
Or you're
off.
starving
Rant.
in the desert.
Yeah, or if you're starving in the desert, you're not listening to this. Hey, to our Bedouins out there, our Bedouin fans out there.
Okay, and so then they're thirsty again. They're keeping moving on. Oh, and also they eat that stuff they subsist on the manna for like 40 years in the desert.
Yeah, it like shows up every day for 40 years.
So and they're still going to complain in the future.
Yeah, they're going to be like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what you're doing? You're just walking out and picking it up. You're not even planting anything.
Yeah.
You're just walking and pick. That's unreal.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So then 17 is an interesting mix of events. We have they're thirsty. They need water. They go to a place, and Moses God tells Moses to crack his staff over a rock, and then water comes out of the rock.
Yeah.
Water rocks.
Water rocks. It just, yeah, and this is important to remember this. He hits it this time. There's a time coming later.
Where he doesn't even need to hit it.
Well,
we'll see. Spoilers.
But he hits the rock this time with his staff and water comes pouring out of it.
Okay. And then right after he cracks the staff and they get water, they get attacked by the Amalekites.
Yeah.
Amalekites.
You nailed it. Yeah.
And they win.
They destroy him.
Despite traveling through the desert, being really weighed down by all the gold they stole from the Egyptians.
Oh, so much stuff.
And being weary, they defeat the Amaleks. And while they're fighting, the reason for their victory is Moses is on a mountain raising his staff, and as long as his hands are up, he's kind of doing a double heil.
Shit. Okay, yeah.
Double
heil. Single heil, bad. Double heil, totally different
Moses.
thing. Totally different thing.
The opposite of a single heil. Really,
yeah,
because it's the Jew.
Super
Yeah.
Jew. Moses.
And as long as the battle keeps going on, they're winning. But anytime he puts his it's kind of like a wave. Anytime he puts his arms down, they start to lose. Is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So he
Kinda
just
on a dime.
He just has his arms up with a staff, doing like a hold. An isometric, and as he gets tired, his friends bring him a rock, and then after a while, he gets so tired that they just have to weekend at Bernie's his arms up and keep his arms up, and eventually the Hebrews win the battle against the Amalekites, and they wipe the Amalekites away from history. Amalekites away from history. They never speak. This part confused me because they're like wipe them away out of history, but also. God has to fight them from generation to generation. What does that mean?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, it says, then the Lord said to Moses, write this as a memorial in a book and recite it in the ears of Joshua, that I will utterly, his main dude was named Joshua, that I will utterly blot out the memory of Amalek from under heaven. Brutal,
but also by reciting it, not wiping.
Right. I mean, the memory means the Amalekites won't remember themselves. Like he takes out their memory from heaven. Maybe it means
Oh,
that.
he's rewriting. He's writing history. He's taking them out of history.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing where it's like, it's also weird where it's like,
You're taking their voice out of history.
sure.
You only get the Hebrew perspective.
Yeah, history's written by the winners. And also it's kind of weird because it's like, why would you write that down? Because I could just say like, yeah, there are a bunch of people called the Tivites, and I killed every one of them, and I destroyed all of their memories, so you don't even bother looking for them.
Yeah, it's
I
kind of like,
and someone's like, what? Yeah, it's it.
I killed a civilization in a town you've never met before that you don't know. It's like it's like the girl that went to a different camp.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I have a girlfriend. She's just dead, and no one will ever know her. Yeah, but it is like, why would you say that?
Yeah,
It's
why?
like a weird thing. And it's like you have the history of it here, and you talk about, it's one of those things where it's like, this is probably not the first thing you'd say to convince someone of the truth of
Sure.
God, but you show his power, you know?
What is his power? That he can,
that
they won the thing?
that they won, even though like
Or
kind
that
of
they won so hard that now they get to control these people's history.
yeah, they are controlling the narrative. Oh no.
Oh, your words.
Whoa. These people are controlling the narrative.
Walk your way out of this one, Joshua.
So, and I like it. Okay. And I think it's good.
Not the smoothest, but you got out of the room, but you hit every object on the way out.
Just knocking stuff over.
You knocked your head on the door frame. Yeah.
So I think it's crazy. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it, "The Lord is my banner," saying, "A hand upon the throne of the Lord. The Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation."
Yeah, that's what I don't get. Is it's like, hey, you're wiping them out, and then, but also you're gonna have
That's what the notes have to say. This is from the notes. No explicit reason is given for the severity of the Lord's judgment on Amalek. A later reference to the event says that Amalek did not fear God, having attacked the people of Israel who were trailing behind and tired from the journey. The Amalekites still posed a threat to Israel in the days of Saul and David, that's far in the future. For a longer discussion on a similar matter, see Introduction to Joshua the Destroyer.
So they didn't wipe them out.
They didn't wipe them out completely, perhaps not in this moment, but down the line, maybe through Saul and David, they did. But
then it says the Lord will have war with them from generation. It sounds like an ongoing forever thing.
Right, but perhaps down.
Maybe this is like OG Israel Palestine.
Maybe, probably is.
Yeah.
But it probably down through the ages, maybe through David, it destroys them. I don't know my Israel history well enough. But I think maybe David or Saul, or David might have destroyed them and wiped them out completely. But it does just show this idea that like God is again, can't think of the right word.
Pooping?
Purveying. I did start with a P. Purveying over his people, protecting them, making sure that like they're weak and defenseless in a sense, but he will miraculously preserve them. And he will like, again, also it's interesting how Moses is holding up the staff, but he can't do it alone. It's tiresome.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
He has a community come around him and help him with the thing. It's funny to have him start out standing at the top and be like, yeah, with the staff.
Yeah.
And then it's like kind of a long time. And he's like, oh, jeez.
It was like 10 minutes.
Yeah. And then he's like, I gotta sit down. And
I mean, honestly, dude, you hold your arm up for like,
dude, especially with the staff.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Whenever I do like drywall sanding on a ceiling, it's awful after like 5 minutes of just moving back and forth like this. Yeah.
Terrible. And so he's up there. Also kind of surprised that the Amalekites, if I was one of the Amalekites, I'd be like, I'd hope I'd notice the correlation between the staff guy and I'd be like, I think that's,
it's funny envisioning
that's the guy actually.
Envisioning it so immediately, being like,
Yeah, exactly. And one of
we gotta kill that guy.
I think that dude's doing I don't know how he's doing it, but he's doing a lot.
Give me a rock right now.
Yeah, we gotta get that guy out of there.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then he has people help him keep his hands up. So it's not just him under his own power keeping his hands up. It's almost like the staff being raised up, and people come to Moses' aid to allow him to do that.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, maybe we're not just supposed to do it on our own.
Huh.
Maybe we need friends.
Next episode is just going to be me soloing.
Maybe we don't need to be cut.
Yeah.
Don't even finish the sentence.
Yeah. Okay, well, you want to do this one? And then we'll save the commandments for next time?
Commandments definitely for the next time. Yeah, because we're running near the end here. Do you want to do... Yeah, we could do... Yeah, let's just
Jethro.
do Jethro's advice, and then we can.
This is interesting because basically, if you don't remember, Jethro, basically what it is Jethro.
Jethro
and this
is
is
the good-
this is a
Moses'
white
father-in-law.
Mike Tyson that I'm doing. It's an alternate. It's not racist because the alternate universe where Mike Tyson was a white man.
Well, Mike Tyson.
Michael
is back with
Tyson.
Through
Michael Tyson.
Dude, Tyson's a tough last name for a lisp.
So yeah, but he could have been named like Sisyphus Tyson.
Tyson.
Which is a
Sisyphus would have been a
Sick
fire
name.
dude.
Yeah, that's a great name for a boxer.
Oh yeah, not one with a lisp
No,
again, but
terrible.
Michael is about as good.
Although of the variety of lisps, the TH lisp, this lisp,
yeah.
is so much better than the back of the mouth lisp. This lisp,
Oh yeah, I think
have you
the
ever noticed there's varieties of lisp.
front lisp better than back lisp.
You're good at it.
But okay, but how about no R? How about whoa?
Well, then
you know
how
what
am
I
I
mean?
going to say my favorite word?
I'm gonna whoa my boat.
Yeah, right.
How about? I think that's maybe the worst.
You think?
I had a friend.
I think that this one, because this one produces spit.
That's true. That's so true. Yeah, maybe that is worse.
Back
I had
of mouth is
I had a
the
friend.
worst one.
I had a comic back in Denver, a buddy of mine who had a pretty hard can't say his R's lisp, and he was like, everyone makes fun of the way my voice sounds, but oh shit, I'm gonna ruin the joke. He's like, but the way I say the N word is adorable.
yeah. I kind of knew that's where that was
Yeah,
going.
of course. Anyway, I think no R. Back. I don't really know that many people with the back of the.
It's really present when they're kids, and then they tamp it out a little bit. But
Smaller.
even then, I'll tell you someone offline who you know.
Perfect.
Okay, so Jethro's advice when Moses, after he killed the guy, remember that he killed the guy, and then he went to Midian,
Where he ran off to?
where he went off to, and he married a priest's wife.
No, married a priest's
Married a
daughter.
priest's daughter. My bad. He married a priest's daughter. The priest's name was Jethro. And then they are now traveling through Midian, right? And Jethro comes out and visits them and is all excited about how, oh, wow, I'm a priest, but your God is really the guy if he got you out of Egypt and did all these nice
Also,
things
he's like,
for you.
look at all these folks.
Yeah.
Moses just leaves,
Shows
with his
back up
kids,
with
and then
2
comes back and he's
million
like,
people.
hey, what's going on? He has
Yeah.
like 650,000 folks with him. That's crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, Moses is 80 in his 80s at this point. So,
So
this
how old
guy's
is Jethro?
so old.
Yeah, comes out on a gurney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's like the worm from SpongeBob, the chocolate worm.
Yeah.
Moses. So he comes out and he sees that he congratulates Moses for picking the right God, or for being picked by the right God.
Right.
And he also sees that every day all the people come to Moses and they settle disputes and they get advice for God's law, which only Moses knows. And Jethro goes, look, man, this is not sustainable. If you are going to continue this nation on, you have to pass down this knowledge to other people. And basically, what is it called when you're like in a managerial position and you give responsibility?
Delegate.
You got to delegate. You got to delegate. So teach other people the laws of the Lord and delegate so that people below you can manage 5 people. You can manage 5 people. People below them can manage 10 people. People below them can manage 100 people, and so on. So he basically creates a judicial hierarchy.
Yeah.
Or suggests the creation of a judicial hierarchy, like circuit court, Supreme Court, the ruler, Daddy Trump. He does. I mean, this is. I don't know. This was kind of interesting. It's like, you see the beginning of the law being created, like the structure of the law.
And it definitely is something that we so take for granted. Because
Yeah.
honestly, I'm like, he's got literally over 600,000 people. With
No,
him.
that's just men. It's like
Right.
2 million people.
Yeah, so it's probably like he's got 2 million people with him, right? And Moses is just taking on all their disputes. It's
so annoying.
What are you, retarded?
Moses-
You're just like, yeah,
He's
just
Judge
come and knock
Judy
on
for
my
2
door.
million people.
Yeah, just come and just check it out, I guess.
Yeah.
Just ask me, maybe. It's like, you're not going to ask anyone. You're not going to
Ask for help.
you sound stupid.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, and then Jethro's like, what are you doing?
Sure.
This is crazy. And so then he just creates kind of like a system that makes sense immediately. I bet Moses was like, oh, yeah.
But he couldn't have thought of it himself. He's too busy deciding who gets which pot in the divorce.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, in the divorce. I bet the men got
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah, it's pretty easy. But I think Yeah, so Jethro kind of gives him this structure, and then Moses is like, that sounds really
That's
smart.
a really good idea.
And so then he kind of enacts that. And then the law will be particularized later here. At the end of Exodus,
I didn't even think about that. They get the law immediately afterwards, like the written law,
Yeah.
10 Commandments.
Yes.
So they have the structure before they have the law.
Right.
Wow.
And then they delineate.
Wow. That is cool.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's how they're building like you said. I think they're building that judicial system, and then the biggest disputes kind of float their way to the top.
Yeah. It's a circuit,
Right.
Like so,
Yeah.
the lower courts, and if it gets bad, it goes up to Moses, who's who's the most connected with God and can
Right.
give God's interpretation or whatever.
Exactly. So that's kind of the structure of that system is just put in place there by Jethro, who again is not an Israelite, is not one of God's chosen people necessarily, but plays a massive role in structuring what God's people or how God's people will function.
Yeah.
Right. So again, just one of these instances of like, people are like, oh, Israel is God's chosen people. They're like, but like God uses everyone from everywhere.
Yeah.
Like everyone is of God. Like is God works through everybody. It's not just like this.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyways, I just think that's really important.
One thing I was thinking about is like, there's no mention of the record keeper. Like, is Exodus, is the idea that it's written by Moses?
Yes. So the idea is that Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy were all written by Moses. I don't know about Deuteronomy. Because Deuteronomy, he dies. How do you write about that?
Deuteronomy.
Poopy-ronomy.
Poopy-ronomy.
I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know about the Deuteronomy, but Genesis and Exodus.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, written by Moses.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mention that.
No, it doesn't mention that. I would need to do more research as to why.
What a productivity king.
Yo, dude, he's busy, man. Well, he was 40 years in the desert. You know what I mean?
That's true.
You might write a few books while you're out there. You know what I mean? You're just kind of wandering in circles.
I really wish that if I had 40 years in the desert, I could do a book, but I don't even think then.
Yeah.
I would just be on my phone.
Could I write a book? Yeah, probably.
So the only reason any of this is possible is because these people don't have phones.
Crucial.
I stand by that.
Phones.
Yeah. That's the real devil.
Yeah, phone is
distraction.
A devil. Yeah, you think the world's getting better? Okay, post-millennialists. Or okay, we have phones now. So
yeah. Which are so awesome.
Yeah, they are awesome.
So awesome.
It is so funny. Like phones are so powerful and so good unless humans are using them, and then it's like it's so bad. Mm-hmm. We just misuse so much stuff. Everything we touch is broken.
But please keep enjoying this on your phone or tablet or for wherever you. And remember to like and subscribe. If you made it this far, I'll suck your penis.
Hey, Smat, don't listen. Did we ever send that shirt?
Yeah, I gotta ask her. Person that we sent the shirt to, I'm not gonna say your name.
Yeah, that's why.
If you have, I remember it.
Awesome.
If you got it, I know it probably came a little late because we had to reorder it, but send us pictures and we'll do a post
right here. This is going up today,
don't include your face.
No,
but,
don't include your face.
That'd be cool. I hope you like it. I hope it's comfortable. I'll try to pick a nice fabric.
Yeah, we tried to do a certain design and then it wouldn't let us.
It got rejected because technically we were using Michelangelo's picture.
Work.
But anyway, how is that
copyrighted.
not public
domain? Are you kidding me? Michelangelo.
But anyway, this has been another episode of
Call Him Father.
We love you. Like, subscribe, share, and thanks for listening. I really appreciate it.
Maybe edit this part and put it up top because they should like, subscribe, share at the beginning too.
Yes.
We'll double it up.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.